Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Mishu. I'm Emily and I'm really excited to be here with you today. Liam, how are you doing this week?
Hi, Emily. Hi, listeners. I'm doing pretty well. Honestly, my week has been busy, but I tried something new. I started writing down small notes of everything I learn each day, and it actually helped me remember more.
That's so cool. Remembering things is something almost everyone struggles with. Even I had a funny moment this week. I studied some new English words, but when I tried to use them in class, I completely blanked out. My mind just went empty.
Oh, I've been there. And I think many of our listeners have too. It can feel so frustrating, right? You work hard, but when the time comes, your memory just doesn't cooperate.
Exactly. But here's the good news. Today, we're going to talk about how to remember everything you learn. Imagine if you could keep new English words in your mind forever, or remember names, ideas, even little details from conversations.
Yeah, that would be powerful. And trust me, remembering more isn't about having a super brain. It's about using the right methods.
So if you've ever said, "Why can't I remember what I studied?" Stay with us because today we'll explore not just the problem, but also the solutions to make your memory sharper and stronger. So let's start with this. Why does remembering even matter so much? Some people might think, it's okay, I'll just look it up again. But Liam, memory is more than just information, right?
Absolutely. Memory is like the glue that connects everything we do. Imagine learning English words but forgetting them the next day. It's like filling a bucket with water, but the bucket has holes. No matter how much you pour in, it just leaks out.
Oh, that's such a perfect picture. And memory isn't only about studying. Think about real life, remembering someone's name when you meet them again, remembering a promise you made, or even remembering the story your friend shared yesterday. Those little things build trust and connection.
Exactly. If you forget, people might think you don't care. But if you remember details, they feel important and valued. That's why memory isn't just about school or exams, it's about relationships and success in life.
And here's something interesting. Memory actually makes your confidence grow. Like when I remember the right phrase in English and say it fluently, I feel proud. It's like, yes, I got it right this time.
Oh, I know that feeling. And on the other side, when you forget, you feel embarrassed or shy. That can stop you from speaking up. So if you want to become confident in English or in any skill, you need to learn how to remember what you learn.
That's why today's topic is so powerful. By the end of this podcast, our listeners will know exactly how to train their memory so they don't just learn English words or lessons, they keep them.
Right. It's like upgrading your brain to a new version that doesn't let your hard work go to waste.
And don't worry, the methods we'll share aren't boring or complicated. They're fun, practical, and anyone can do them. Let's be real for a moment. Forgetting can feel so painful. Have you ever studied a list of English words, felt proud, and then the next day, nothing? It's like your brain pressed the delete button overnight.
Oh, yes, I've experienced that so many times. I remember once I prepared for an English presentation. I practiced every line. But when I stood in front of the class, my mind went completely blank. I froze. Everyone was looking at me, and I just couldn't remember my words.
That must have been so tough, Liam. And I think many of our listeners can connect with that feeling. Maybe they studied for an exam or tried to remember phrases for a conversation, but when the moment came, it all disappeared.
Exactly. And the worst part is the emotions that come with it. Embarrassment, frustration, even self-doubt. You start thinking, maybe I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'll never be fluent in English.
Yes, and that's the danger. Forgetting doesn't just affect your memory, it affects your motivation. You feel like giving up because you think your hard work isn't paying off.
And sometimes it makes you avoid situations. Like you might stop speaking English with friends because you're scared of forgetting. Or you don't raise your hand in class because you think, what if I forget the word?
I've been there too. I remember when I was learning French, I avoided speaking because I kept forgetting. But here's the truth. Forgetting is normal. It's not because you're bad at languages. It just means your brain needs the right tools to hold on to information longer.
Yes, and once you understand that forgetting is part of the process, you stop blaming yourself. You realize, okay, I just need better methods.
So, if you're listening right now and you've ever felt frustrated by forgetting, you're not alone. We've all been there. But stay with us because in the next parts, we'll uncover why this happens and how you can fix it. Okay, Liam, so let's break it down. Why do we actually forget things? People often think their memory is just bad, but that's not really true.
You're right. Memory isn't bad. It just follows rules. One big reason is lack of repetition. If you see a word once and never review it, your brain thinks this is not important and it deletes it.
Oh, yes, that's so interesting. Our brain is like a smart filter. It wants to save energy, so it keeps only what it believes is useful. If you don't show your brain that something is important, it just throws it away.
Exactly. Another reason is stress and emotions. When you're nervous, like before an exam or speaking in public, your brain can freeze. Stress blocks memory access, like someone locking a door right when you need it most.
That explains so much. Sometimes it's not that we didn't study, it's just that our emotions got in the way. And there's also distraction. If you're trying to learn while scrolling your phone, your brain never truly saves the information.
True. And here's the logical part. Sleep. If you don't sleep well, your brain can't move information from short-term to long-term memory. It's like writing something on a whiteboard, but forgetting to take a photo before it gets erased.
Wow, I love that example. So to sum up, forgetting happens because of 1, no repetition, 2, stress and pressure, 3, distractions, 4, poor sleep.
Yes, and here's the emotional side too. Many people feel ashamed when they forget. That shame makes them avoid practice, which actually makes memory worse. It becomes a cycle.
But the good news is, once we know the causes, we can break that cycle. And in the next parts, we'll share practical solutions to help our listeners remember more and forget less. So now that we understand why we forget, let's dive into our first solution. And it's actually simple: spaced repetition.
Yes, this is one of the most powerful tools. Instead of trying to remember something all in one day, you review it again and again over time, first after a few hours, then the next day, then a few days later, and so on.
It's like watering a plant. If you give it water just once, it will die. But if you give it little sips regularly, it grows strong roots. Your brain works the same way.
Exactly. For example, if you learn the English word curious today, don't just close the book and forget it. Review it after dinner, then say it again tomorrow morning. Use it in a sentence during the week. I'm curious about your story. That way, the word sticks.
That's so true. And the best part? You don't need hours for this. Even 5 minutes of review can be enough to remind your brain, hey, this is important, keep it.
Right. And there are apps like Anki or Quizlet that use spaced repetition automatically. But you don't even need an app. A notebook, flashcards, or even sticky notes can work.
I love that. When I was in school, I wrote English words on sticky notes and placed them on my mirror. So every morning when I got ready, I reviewed them without even trying.
That's a clever trick. So, listeners, the first strategy is clear. Don't learn once, review smartly. Repeat it over spaced intervals, and your memory will become like glue.
Yes, and remember, it's not about study harder, it's about studying smarter. All right, Liam, so the first solution was spaced repetition, reviewing at the right times. Now let's move to the second powerful method: association and visualization.
Oh, yes, this one is fun. Our brain loves pictures and stories. If you connect new information with an image or a funny story, you'll remember it much faster.
Exactly. For example, let's take the English word elephant. If you just repeat elephant, 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 maybe you'll forget. But if you imagine a giant elephant wearing sunglasses and dancing in your kitchen, boom, it sticks in your memory.
I can see that now. And it's impossible to forget that picture. That's the trick. The stranger or funnier the image, the stronger the memory.
Yes, I actually used this when I was learning Spanish. I had trouble with the word silla, which means chair. So I imagined sitting on a chair made of silver because silla sounded like silver to me. That little link helped me never forget it.
That's a perfect example. And this works with names too. If you meet someone named Rose, you can picture them holding a red rose in their hand. That way, the name connects instantly.
So, listeners, here's the tip. Whenever you learn something new, don't just memorize the word, create a picture or connection in your mind. Turn it into something fun, colorful, and unique.
Right. Your brain is like a child. It loves play, color, and imagination. If you feed it boring black and white words, it forgets. But if you give it pictures and stories, it remembers.
I love that. So, strategy number 2 is make it visual, make it funny, make it yours. So far, we've talked about spaced repetition and visualization. Now, let's move to the third solution, teaching and using what you learn.
Oh, this is powerful. There's a saying, if you want to learn something deeply, teach it to someone else. When you explain an idea in your own words, your brain organizes it and stores it better.
Exactly. For example, if you learn a new English phrase today, don't just keep it in your notebook. Try using it in a conversation with a friend or explain the meaning to someone else, even if it's just your younger brother or sister.
Or even better, practice it out loud alone. Like if you learn the phrase, break the ice, you could say, I used a joke to break the ice with my classmates. Then maybe teach the phrase to your friend. Hey, do you know what break the ice means? That double action makes it unforgettable.
Yes, I remember when I was preparing for an exam, I explained grammar rules to my friend. Honestly, I think I learned more than she did because teaching forced me to really understand and remember.
That's so true. And here's an action step for our listeners. After you study something new, challenge yourself to use it at least 3 times the same day in writing, speaking, or teaching.
I love that challenge. Even if you don't have anyone to teach, you can still record yourself explaining the new word or idea. Later, listen back. It's like you're the teacher and the student at the same time.
Brilliant. So, strategy number 3 is don't keep knowledge locked inside. Use it, share it, and teach it. That's how you make memory strong.
All right, we've shared some amazing strategies already. Now, let's talk about the final big one, creating routines and connecting memory to habits.
Yes, because memory doesn't live alone. It grows stronger when you attach it to your daily life. If you make learning part of your routine, your brain treats it like a habit, not just a random activity.
Exactly. For example, you can connect English practice to your morning routine. While brushing your teeth, repeat 3 words you learned yesterday. Or while walking to school, practice one phrase out loud.
That's smart. It's called habit stacking. You attach a new memory habit to something you already do daily. Like, after breakfast, I'll review 1 flashcard. Or before sleeping, I'll write 1 sentence using a new word.
I actually used this trick when I wanted to remember quotes. I decided that every time I drink tea, I would repeat 1 motivational quote. Slowly, it became automatic. I couldn't drink tea without remembering a quote.
That's so cool, Emily. And it shows the magic of routines. They remove the need for motivation. You don't think, should I study today? You just do it because it's part of your daily flow.
Right, and this works not just for English, but for anything you want to remember. A little consistent action beats one giant effort that you'll forget tomorrow.
So, listeners, the fourth strategy is this. Turn remembering into a routine. Connect your memory work to daily habits, and you'll never skip it.
Yes, if you make memory part of your lifestyle, your brain will hold on to what truly matters. Now, Liam, even with all these strategies, let's be honest. People will still face challenges. Memory improvement isn't magic. What are some of the common obstacles?
Great question. I think the first big obstacle is impatience. People try these techniques for a few days, but if they don't see instant results, they give up. Memory takes time, just like building muscle.
Yes, exactly. Another obstacle is self-doubt. Many learners say, "Oh, my memory is just bad," or "I'm too old to learn." That belief itself blocks progress. If you keep telling your brain it's weak, it'll act weak.
Very true. And let's not forget fear of mistakes. Some learners are so scared of forgetting in front of others, they don't even try. But here's the funny thing. If you never try, you'll never remember.
Oh, I've been there. I once avoided speaking French because I was terrified of forgetting a word mid-sentence. But later I realized forgetting while practicing is actually part of learning. Every mistake is a reminder, not a failure.
Exactly. Another obstacle is lack of consistency. People study for 2 hours one day, then skip 5 days. That gap makes the brain forget again. It's like watering a plant once a week instead of every day. It just dries out.
So true. And I think listeners need to remember this. Forgetting doesn't mean you failed. It means your brain needs another round of practice. That's all.
Yes, and once you accept that forgetting is normal, you stop fearing it. You start treating it like a signal. Oh, my brain needs a review session.
I love that. So, to everyone listening, don't let impatience, self-doubt, fear, or inconsistency stop you. The tools we shared work, but only if you keep using them with patience and courage. Okay, Liam, let's make this real. Let's practice using what we just learned. Imagine you want to remember the English phrase, break the ice. How would you do it?
All right. First, I'd use visualization. I'd imagine walking into a room full of people and literally breaking an ice cube with a hammer. That funny picture makes the phrase unforgettable.
Ha, perfect. Then I'd apply spaced repetition. I'd say the phrase 5 times today, again tomorrow, and again in a few days. Little reviews keep it in my memory.
Nice. Next, I'd teach it. I could say to a friend, "Hey, do you know what break the ice means? It means to make people feel comfortable at the beginning of a conversation. Teaching helps me remember it deeply."
Exactly. And then I connect it to a routine. Maybe every time I start a conversation in English class, I remind myself to break the ice. That way, it becomes part of my daily habit.
Wow. Emily, when you combine all 4 strategies, visualization, spaced repetition, teaching, and routine, it's almost impossible to forget.
Yes. And listeners, you can do the same with any word, phrase, or idea. Pick one thing you want to remember today and try all 4 strategies in a fun mini practice.
This is why practice is key. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Using it in real-life scenarios locks it into your brain.
So here's a little challenge for our listeners. Today, pick one English word or phrase and go through visualization, spaced repetition, teaching, and routine. See how much better you remember it tomorrow.
All right, listeners, now it's time for our vocabulary builder. Let's learn some words and phrases from today's episode and see how to use them in real life.
First one, spaced repetition. Reviewing information at intervals to remember it longer. Example, I use spaced repetition to remember new English words every week.
Second, visualization. Creating a mental image to help memory. I used visualization to remember the word elephant by imagining it dancing in my room.
Third, break the ice to start a conversation comfortably. Example, I told a joke to break the ice with my new classmates.
Fourth, habit stacking. Linking a new habit to an existing one. I stack my English practice on my morning coffee routine.
Fifth, association, connecting new information with something familiar. Example, I associate the word silla with a silver chair to remember it in Spanish.
Sixth, retention, the ability to remember information. These memory strategies help improve my retention of English words.
And finally, overcome, to successfully deal with a problem or obstacle. Example, I learned to overcome my fear of forgetting words in conversations.
Listeners, try using these words in your own sentences today. The more you use them, the stronger your memory becomes.
Yes, and don't just memorize. Visualize, repeat, teach, and connect them to your habits. That's how vocabulary sticks naturally.
Wow, Liam, we've covered so much today, from understanding why we forget to 4 powerful memory strategies, role-playing, and even learning new vocabulary.
Yes, and the key takeaway is simple. Remembering isn't about having a perfect memory. It's about using the right methods consistently. Spaced repetition, visualization, teaching, and routines, they all work together to make your brain stronger.
And don't forget, forgetting is normal. It's not a failure. It's a signal that your brain needs another practice. Be patient, be consistent, and keep going.
Exactly. Imagine how powerful it will feel when you start remembering words, phrases, and ideas easily. You'll speak English more confidently, connect with people better, and feel proud of your progress.
So listeners, here's your challenge. Pick one thing you learned today, apply all 4 strategies, and make it part of your daily routine. Start small, and you'll see results.
And if this episode helped you, share it with a friend. Subscribe to Speak English with Mishu and leave a comment telling us which memory strategy worked best for you.
Remember, your brain is powerful. You just need to train it the right way. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
That's right. Your memory, your English, your confidence, they're all growing every day as long as you take small, consistent steps.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode of Speak English with Mishu.
Bye, everyone. Keep learning, and remember, you can remember everything you want with the right strategies.